I have been away, and I have given the explanation why I have been away, and I hope God that very soon there will be an alternative platform for the social media apart from YouTube and the TikTok. Reason is that you have now seen the series of assassinations, and where the Facebook owner, who again is the very youngish Jew, and how he helped by the technology and how he used the technology for the dirty act, and which is now going to lead the World War III. And millions of people are going to die, starting from the Middle East. I think then the whole East, West, North or South is going to be involved. The illegitimate child in the lap of the United States of America, which the Harry Truman, looked for that, although he had an alternative to create and get these, the scum of the society settled in somewhere in remote parts of the Africa, where they would have so far been suffering from drought, suffering from starvation, suffering from dehydration, and then they would have realized that to getting a shelter. But unfortunately, he chose Palestine, and that was an easy prey for him, and it's the fault of the Muslims. It is the fault of the Roman, not the Roman who expelled them, but the fault of the Ottoman Empire people who, and they know that the times and times again the YouTube, again controlled by the Jews, blocks you, strikes you, and really controls you that what kind of a content you can put on the YouTube. Although they put naked women, put the LGBT and all the pornography you can find on the YouTube, even in the animals you find all these sorts of things. But it is funny that what kind of culture, what kind of things they are promoting, and they have their community rights. They use it when they want it, and that's where the WhatsApp was used to assassinate Ismail Hania. Now, what is the cost going to be there? Then no matter what Harris says, no matter what Trump says, no matter what Biden says, they are all the same. After the assassination of John F. Kennedy, I think you've seen that the America changed completely and fell into the hands of the scum of the society, so-called the Jews, and the agency which controls these as puppets is the epic. And similarly, they have controlling powers all over the world. So the most don't tell the truth to the whole world, so that the lies could be spread by YouTube. I'm glad that Elon Musk is coming up. His platform, which Twitter and X now presently, is an honest and gives equal opportunity and time to the whole, but people, the whole world. So that is the way the social media should be. Both TikTok and YouTube are, I think, both have to be despicable, disgusting, disgraceful, the community rules which they apply where they want to, and they just let it go where they don't want to. Now,
Arya Nair, he's a giant in the world of human rights and a survivor of genocide himself. He was born a Jew in Nazi Germany. You, I think, only one time accused a country of genocide.
Yes.
Saddam Hussein's attempt to eliminate the Kurds.
The Kurds.
You have concluded that Israel is guilty of attempting genocide.
Yes.
That's a very heavy charge.
Yes. 2,000-pound bombs, which are utterly inappropriate in a crowded urban area. A bomb like that can kill somebody 2 football fields away.
Human Rights Watch co-founder and Holocaust survivor Arya Nair was on CNN over the weekend speaking to Fareed Zakaria to share his opinion about why he feels that Israel is currently carrying out a genocide in the Gaza Strip. Now, he made his case while speaking to Fareed Zakaria, and he pointed to specific reasons why he feels this way. Now, I want to be clear that he actually did not initially agree with South Africa's allegation that Israel is carrying out a genocide, but he ended up changing his mind, and he's about to explain why in this next clip.
What changed my mind was that over a period of time, Israel has obstructed the delivery of humanitarian assistance to Gaza. And those who have been most severely victimized are not the members of Hamas. Men with guns ordinarily find a way to get food and to get fed. But it is young children who are most severely damaged by malnutrition and who will either starve to death, or if they survive, they will be diminished for the rest of their lives, diminished physically and psychologically by the severe malnutrition they are enduring as children. And I thought that severe obstruction of the delivery of humanitarian assistance amounted to genocide.
So then you can't even drink some of the water if it's there. You have to go through a whole process to just get water. Most of the toilets in these places, they're gone, so now disease is festering. You can't think of the simple little things that no longer exist. There's no trash pickup, so trash is piling up. They're starting to burn the trash both to get it out of the way and because they've run out of firewood. And so on top of that, there's no ATMs left. So they can't get cash, there's no banks, there's no nothing left. And the price of food has doubled or quadrupled since the border closings. So just to get a loaf of bread, you can't just get the bread. You need money, but you don't have money.
Right.
And so
it's all an accident though, right, Cenk? It's all an accident. It's all an accident. Just as Netanyahu says, every civilian casualty is a tragedy. So everything that's happening in the Gaza Strip must be an accident.
Yeah, so that is why Ari Nair and every single human rights organization is saying this is the worst we've ever seen in our lifetimes. How Israel is the best at protecting civilians? No, they're literally the absolute worst. Now, look, you can say, hey, Bashar al-Assad in Syria is worse, what's happening in Sudan is worse, or North Korea. But if you're like bragging that you're slightly better than Bashar al-Assad, the butcher of Syria, or slightly better than the dictator Kim Jong-un who keeps...
Take a look.
At this moment, there are settlers in the West Bank area who are interrupting trucks taking humanitarian assistance into Gaza. They are attacking the truck driver, spilling the contents of trucks carrying humanitarian aid. The Israeli defense forces have not intervened in order to prevent the settlers from engaging in sabotage of that sort in delivering humanitarian assistance. The Israeli defense forces have aided the settlers, and a very large number of Palestinians in the West Bank have been killed in the past few months.
Was that all an accident as well?
Administrator Samantha Power testified before Congress that famine had set in Gaza. The head of the UN World Food Program has said that full-blown famine is underway in Gaza. Destroying the farms, destroying the greenhouses in Gaza, killing a large number of aid workers who were involved in the distribution of food, challenging the ability of the UN agency that has been principally involved in distributing food to continue that activity, and persuading the United States and other governments to cut off funds from that agency. All those things have had a cumulative impact on the availability of food and water and electricity and medical supplies in Gaza.
You know, when you're dealing with so
मैंने 80% यहूदियों को इस दुनिया से खत्म कर दिया है और 20% को छोड़ रहा हूँ। मेरे मरने के बाद तुमको इस बात का एहसास होगा कि काश मैं इन 20% को भी खत्म करके जाता और पूरी दुनिया से यहूदियों का नामो निशान मिटा के जाता। यार, ये अल्फाज से हिटलर के, जिसे इतिहास में यहूदियों का सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन माना जाता है, क्योंकि हिटलर नहीं लगभग 60,000 यहूदियों को चुन चुनकर कत्ल कर दिया था। लेकिन यार, वो हिटलर आखिरी यहूदियों से इतनी नफरत क्यों करता था? तो दोस्तों, इसकी सबसे पहली वजह तो ये थी कि हिटलर का मानना था कि यहूदी हैं गद्दार, क्योंकि इन्होंने फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर में अपने देश जर्मनी का साथ देने की बजाय उसके दुश्मनों का साथ दिया था। इसके अलावा हिटलर का ये भी मानना था कि पूरी दुनिया में जर्मनी वो इकलौती कौम है जो पूरी दुनिया पर हुकूमत करने की असली हकदार है। इसके अलावा हिटलर एक ईसाई होने के नाते भी यहूदियों से नफरत करता था।
Khalil al-Hayya, a senior Hamas leader, pledged that Israel would face severe consequences for the assassination of Hamas Politburo chief Ismail Haniyeh. Speaking at a press conference in Iran on July 31st, al-Hayya detailed the circumstances of the attack, stating that a missile struck Haniyeh's room, killing him and one of his bodyguards and causing extensive damage. Al-Hayya emphasized that Hamas is awaiting the results of Iran's comprehensive investigation into the assassination. He accused Israel of provoking conflict beyond Gaza, targeting Lebanon and Iran, and warned of broader regional repercussions. Al-Hayya dismissed the ongoing ceasefire talks in the Gaza Strip as futile under the current conditions. He accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of obstructing ceasefire efforts and exchange negotiations, asserting that Israel's actions indicate a lack of interest in peace.
There is no point in talking about ceasefire negotiations amid bloodshed and assassinations. Netanyahu and US President Joe Biden had agreed on a preliminary agreement, but they added new conditions during negotiations. This shows that Netanyahu and his government are not seeking a ceasefire and do not want to stop the aggression.
Iranian analysts echoed this sentiment, suggesting that Haniyeh's assassination has further complicated ceasefire negotiations and could lead to retaliation from the regional resistance front. In response to Haniyeh's assassination, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas declared July 31st a day of mourning. Official institutions in the West Bank were instructed to lower their flags to half-mast, with Abbas condemning the assassination and calling for Palestinian unity. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and representatives of Palestinian militias held funeral prayers for Haniyeh and his bodyguard at Tehran University. Iran's new president, Masoud Pezeshkian, also attended the ceremony. The coffins were later moved through Tehran's streets to Azadi Square, where mourners threw flowers at them. The leader of Yemen's Houthi group, Syed Abdul Malik al-Houthi, declared on July 31st that Israel's assassination of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh has escalated the conflict to a broader level, with severe repercussions for Tel Aviv. In a statement aired on the group's Al Masirah TV channel, al-Houthi stated, "The criminal enemy's involvement in targeting the martyr, Haniyeh, has elevated the battle to a wider scope and greater dimensions, the consequences of which will be dire for the enemy, God willing." Al-Houthi vowed to work with allies in the resistance axis to avenge Haniyeh and address the injustices faced by the Palestinian people.
nations. Even Trump was attempted to be assassinated. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Even Ronald Reagan. I think you have a series of people. Then the brother of John F. Kennedy was, he was assassinated. So you can see for yourself how it changes. By assassinating, the Yasser Arafat, the Palestinian Liberation Organization was severely affected and almost finished. This will be a wishful thinking on the part of the Zionists or their supporters that by doing this they will finish Hamas. They won't. That is an indigenous, and that is now built in, and they will go for thousands and thousands of years. People who are all orphaned and have lost their parents, and they are going to take their revenge back from this, and the whole world is responsible who kept quiet and did not have the ceasefire.